Hello everyone and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. For today we're going to be talking about FORO, the fear of running out. We're going to talk about what it is and how we can ease our anxiety and release that scarcity mindset. We're also going to be gardening when we're talking about FORO and the fear of running out, because nature is my constant reminder of how abundant the earth is without me even trying. So I thought it was fitting to do our gardening as we talk about this subject. Now for me, a very common fear that I've had for a majority of my life with hoarding disorder was the fear of running out of stuff and the fear of running out of money. And when I looked it up, I noticed that it actually had a term for it, and it was called FORO, and that is the fear of running out. And that was definitely a fear that had triggered my behaviors of hoarding and saving and trying to soothe my anxiety. But I feel that everybody has a little bit of FORO in their lives, whether they have hoarding disorder or not. And that was shown during COVID, when everything was shut down and we were running out of toilet paper and running out of groceries, and there was a scarcity mindset that set into all of society. Everybody was scared that they were not going to be able to provide for their family. And during COVID, it didn't even matter if you had the money to buy the toilet paper or the groceries, because it wasn't available to you. And many people started stockpiling these things so they could feel that sense of security to provide for their family. And they unintentionally kind of created hoarding behaviors within their households. Also, what I had experienced in 2008 with the Great Recession. We were so young, newly married, just had a baby, lost our job, everything was underwater, and it catapulted my hoarding into a survival mechanism, all based on the premise of running out of stuff, running out of resources, running out of money. I feel like a lot of people are experiencing it again today. With inflation, the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, the cost of mortgages, and just basic needs living. I'm seeing more and more of reels popping up on TikTok and Instagram on how hard it is to survive and the cost of living compared to wages nowadays. Because we all understand that fear of running out, not being able to provide, not having the necessary resources we need for our families, the strain that it puts on our families and marriages and relationships. As a recovering hoarder, I don't want anybody being stuck in the scarcity mindset. So let's start to reverse this. Let's start to look at the solutions so we don't have to be stuck in this fear. So number one is going to be, I'm going to feel my fear and not suppress it. For years of hoarding, that fear of running out triggered me to save everything. But it was also a coping mechanism for my anxiety, my PTSD, my ADHD. It was my prescription drug of choice because I consistently suppressed the emotions and never processed it. And that's why I was stuck in the wheel of consistently hoarding. I never dealt with the root problems. So now what I do is I deal with the fear as it arises. It's easier to deal when the fear with little chunks and not the entirety of it all. So when the fear arises, then I might run out of something, I allow myself to process it. I allow myself to feel it. Why am I feeling this way? Where is this stemming from? Because the reality of it is that all of my needs are met. I don't need to hold on to every single thing. I can let go of stuff. We are financially doing very well right now. I have more than enough to provide for my family at this present time. So where is this fear stemming from? And whatever that honest answer is to that present fear, I allow myself to feel it, and then I release it. And I come back to reality, to where I truly am. And I am very aware of how blessed and privileged I am to have a roof over my head. I have food in the pantry to provide for my family. I put myself back in the reality of, man, I am so blessed, and I need to honor that space that I get to be here, that I get to have a roof over my head, get the privilege of going to the grocery store and being able to buy food. And even though, yes, the cost of it is so much more than what it was a few years ago, I still have the funds to buy that food, and I am so grateful to be in that place. I acknowledged that that fear came up for me, and I lovingly release it and refill that space back in my energy field that it's okay. We are abundant. We are provided for. We have so much already, and I don't need to fear this anymore. I temporarily allow myself to feel the fear as if it is a reality. That way, I start to put myself in the solution of it. How can I start to solve the problem as if it's already occurring? There's no toilet paper. We ran out like we did in COVID. No worries. I have plenty of washcloths that we can use to cleanse ourselves. There's no food at the grocery store. I have a healthy supply of food stocked in our pantry. I am resourceful because I defined the boundary of being resourceful and hoarding. So God forbid if the grocery store is temporarily out of food, I have plenty of food that would survive us at least 3 to 4 weeks and waiting for the grocery store to restock. By planning what we can do and be in the solution of the problem, we start to remove the uncertainty. And it is the uncertainty that fuels that fear. I believe that you need to have that polarity of feeling the scarcity mindset and also feeling the abundance mindset. We are fully taken care of. I have a plan now in place. I know that we have money in our emergency fund. I know that I have food in the pantry. I know that if something comes up, I'm already in the solution. And my goodness, I'm so grateful to be here. Know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. There are 7.5 billion people on this planet. Somebody will help you if you really need it. We put so much pressure on ourselves that we have to have the answers to everything. But the reality is that we can create a support system to help ease the fear of the scarcity mindset. This could be family. This could be friends. This could be churches or local community support groups like food pantries. Of course, this is only to be used in emergencies and not to create a dependency that I need this in my everyday life. It's only when a crisis or a bad situation arises that we can now go to this support system. So in a notebook, in anything, you can write down who and what programs are my support system if, God forbid, I cannot provide the necessities for my family to survive. And lastly, which honestly is the most important thing, you have these systems and plans already created, whether it's written in a notebook or you created a spreadsheet on it. These structures are created to self-soothe your nervous system. If God forbid you ran out of something that your family need, you already have your emergency plan in place. And I'm going to use the example of finances because back in 2018, when we were still struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, I started following Dave Ramsey, doing his baby steps, and I started doing the no spend challenge. And what that did on a daily basis was remind me of the importance of saving some money for an emergency fund, paying down debt that was unnecessary, and also realizing that I don't need to spend money every single day. I created no spend days, meaning that I was enjoying the abundance that I already had in the home. The more I did the no spend challenge and realized how abundant my life was without spending money or purchasing something every single day, it reinforced what was actually a need and what was actually a want. And it's only the needs that I need for my family to survive. And because I was able to control my frivolous shopping and now be very aware of how abundant we are, I feel like that's why in 2024, when I got laid off in a time of high inflation, that my hoarding did not explode because we already had these plans intact. We were okay financially. We have the emergency fund. I was given a severance pay. I know how to spend money only on necessities. I know how to cut back. I know how to feel abundant in the stuff that we already have. Because I had these plans and strategies already in place, I wasn't so scared of running out of money and stuff when I lost my job. I removed the FORO. I removed that fear of running out because I have a plan in place. I just want you to be aware that that abundance is available to you. You are safe. There are resources there for you to provide for your family in a time of emergency. And I just want you to curate what those plans and strategies look like for yourself. We're going to survive. We got this. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to realize we're living a wonderful and abundant life. And I pray that this removes any fear and helps you catapult into your most abundant life.